Okay, students, this video is going to show you how to create a patrolling enemy in Scratch. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the cat. I'm going to say, yes, I want my own patrolling enemy. And I'm going to make that real quick in the art tools. There is a video that shows you how to do this already in our weekly slideshow. I am also going to use a stage. In fact, I'm going to set that right first. I'm just going to grab something for my enemy to patrol across. I'll just choose this. There we go. I have a nice boardwalk background in Scratch. Now I'm going to need the patrolling enemy. I'm going to click mouse over, I should say, the choose sprite. I'm going to click the paintbrush, and I'm going to speed this up because there's another video that already shows you how to do this. There we have it, my ferocious looking enemy. My enemy is pretty big here. I'm going to go ahead and set its size to 50%. There, now it's a little smaller. I'm just going to have it patrol back and forth across the boardwalk. I'm going to go back to my code. Now, I've got an enemy, got a background. I need this enemy to start moving. Now, we already know that we can start an event with the green flag and that we can start something moving by just simply putting the move 10 steps. Correct the green flag, you saw it moved a little bit. However, it moved and stopped, so we need it to repeat movement. If we go to the control and we get a repeat or a forever block, now if we click the green flag, it just moves 10 steps forever. And you can see it just got to the edge and then it eventually stopped when it was off the stage or almost off the stage. I'm going to grab it back. Oh, you can see it's still running. I'm going to stop. Now, first off, I think that was moving pretty fast. So I'm going to click the stop. Also, it says move 10 steps, but I want to be sure it's going to move left and right. And so I am going to really define the movement as movement on the x-axis. So I am going to, instead of using the move steps, I'm going to change x so I know it's on the x, and I'm going to slow it down a little. I'm going to change x by 5. I'm going to bring this back, and there it is, moving slower. I'm not a great game player, so if I'm making a game, I want that to move a little slower, at least at the first level. All right, I'm going to stop this. Now, I want it to bounce off the edge and then move the other direction. Here is the issue I'm going to have with that. I've got a code block that is going to let it bounce off the edge. So I can say that the forever, I can go to the control and I can say if it is, and I'll go to sensing, touching, and then it says mouse pointer. I'm going to change that to edge. If it is touching the edge, then I want it to then change the direction. But how can I tell? There is no left edge or right edge. It just says edge. So, and I don't have an option in here that says change direction, or at least not one that is going to make sense for what I'm doing. So what I am going to do is create a variable, and my variable is going to be the thing that changes the direction of the sprite. It is going to change direction by setting the change x to either 5 or -5. So I need to make my variable first. I am going to make a variable, and it's just going to be called change direction. Oops. And I'm going to notice I squished my words together. This is a programmer's practice. It's called making your words in camel case. so you don't have any spaces. Scratch doesn't really care, but other coding platforms get real picky if you have spaces in your file names. There. So I have a variable called change direction. And what I'm going to do is start by setting change direction to 5. I like that speed 5. So now that I have got this at 5, I can also bring change direction to where it says change X, because change X will be 5 in this case. The only thing is, if it touches the edge, I want it to become -5, because +5 is going to go right, -5 is going to go left. So if it is going to touch the edge then, and now here's the tricky part, I'm going to go back to control and I'm going to get another if, but I'm going to get an if then else. And I'm going to say if change direction equals 5, so let me find my operator, and I'm going to get an equal sign. And if change direction, that's in my variable drawer, if change direction equals 5, then I want my program to set change direction to -5. Else, which means otherwise, set the direction to 5. So I started by setting it to 5, and I just did that because I decided to put my patrolling enemy on the left, so he'll start by moving to the right, or the +5 direction. If it equals 5, well, first off, if it touches the edge, and when touching the edge, if it equals 5, change to -5. Else, keep it at 5. And then I set my X to that variable change direction, and I set that in my forever loop, but below these conditions. So whatever the condition is, it will set the change X block to that condition. Whenever it is 5 and hits the edge, it becomes -5, and if it's -5 and hits the edge, it becomes 5. Let's see if it works. There it goes. My patrolling enemy is changing direction. Now you can see it's changing right here, 5, -5, so we can tell that variable is working. During a game, do I really need the player to see this? The answer is no. The player does not need to see the inner workings of my code. That might be confusing, especially if I have lives and a score. It'll get a lot of things up here. Over where my variable is, if I just uncheck this block, it will disappear from the screen. Now I have a patrolling enemy that goes from left to right, and that variable is hidden from the user. And you already have code instructions that will show you what happens when one sprite touches another sprite.